distinguished academic career. But rather than read that to you, I just wanted to say a couple of things about why I think Dr. Dietz is the perfect person to speak to us this morning. First of all, this organization has obvious ties to Illinois State University. Our central office is housed there and has been for years. And the university has always been very, very supportive of this organization. But more than that is ISU's commitment to what the organization stands for. ISU's own Doug Jennings says that ISU has demonstrated a long-term commitment to communication education and remains as the site of the only ComEd program in Illinois. Dr. Dietz has continued to support the program, which has been considered the referent ComEd program in the United States. So members of the organization, please join me in giving a warm welcome to our guest and our keynote speaker, Dr. Larry Dietz.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation. A couple of observations before I get into some prepared remarks here. Number one is that I want to say congratulations to the awardees. These young people are our future, and obviously from their comments and listening to them and what their mentors have said about them, I think our future is in great hands. So congratulations to the awardees. Really proud of you. Just wish you would have attended Illinois State. Other than that, it's a pretty darn good deal. Another comment that I would make, I was in this very room, actually it's a little bigger room, but Saturday night we had the NAACP dinner here, and I attended that. They brought in a speaker from Washington, D.C., African-American gentleman who had his own talk show in D.C. And from what I gathered from his comments, his talk show was quite colorful with its language, and he cleaned that up some to be with us on Saturday night. But he said that he was delighted to be here. He gave a great speech, and at the end he said, I need to share that part of my character development is that I came from a drug culture, and I spent my life trying to deal with that drug culture and really trying to set myself in a different path, but I keep being shaped by that. So it's not what you think. My parents drugged me to church, they drugged me to reunions, drugged me to school, they drugged me through my degree, and they basically drugged me through lots of things to get to where I am today. And wouldn't it be a much better world if, in fact, we were part of that drug culture and we had those drugs running through our veins versus some of the other substances that you sometimes hear about. But obviously, these young people today, and all of you have had the right drug culture in your veins because you are where you are. One of the other reasons that I'm here this morning is that my chief of staff is Jay Groves. Jay was a communications major and a professor at the university for many years before he moved into the chief of staff position. So when he came in to talk to me about this potential to address this group, he said, here, usually he will give me a background and say, and what do you think? He said, well, here's this group, you'll be addressing them on the 25th of September, and you'll be just happy to do that. And I said, well, I know I will be. Any good chief of staff you listen to, but it's really my pleasure to be here with you this morning. I also want to thank the convention organizers for agreeing to kind of meet in the middle. I know that that's your theme, and I also know that we are conveniently located for you here. My ego isn't big enough to think that if this meeting was in Chicago or Cairo, Illinois or someplace, that I might have this invitation to come and talk to you. We are kind of in the middle here in Bloomington, Normal, between Chicago and St. Louis and Indianapolis and the Quad Cities and other places. It's a great place to be. I'm also delighted that gentleman introduced me. this is a real pet peeve of mine, didn't read my bio. I find it just frustrating when I'm in the audience and somebody gets introduced and then they pick up the program and they say, now he did this and he did that, as if none of us could read. So, I'm not going to really talk about myself, and I encourage you to read that if you want to, and if you don't, that's fine too. But my background in higher education spans about 40 years, actually more than 40 years. I've been at several institutions. I've spent came here in 2011 from SIU at Carbondale. Before that, I was at the University of Missouri system, mainly at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. Before that, I was at Iowa State University. Before that, I was at Southern, and before that, I was at Chuck. And so that's kind of the very quick loop around my career. One of the most important titles, though, was really given to me this summer that I'm very, very proud of. And I don't really think I deserve it, but other people gave me this title. And few people know this. I was told this summer that I'm a thespian. And I said, wow, really? And they said, yes, that's you are now. And so the reason that I was given that title is that I was a part of the Illinois Shakespeare Festival, and I think many of you have probably heard of that. It's located in a beautiful facility on the historic grounds of Ewing Manor, just a few miles from here. And this summer I appeared in the Shakespeare Festival production of Love's Labour's Lost. I think you may know that play, and if you don't, have several hundred DVR copies out of the whole play just of my appearance. You suffer from insomnia, it's a great and in truth, I feel like that I need to tell you that one of the reasons that I was in that role had nothing to do with any talent. I was the high bidder at a fundraising auction that said that, you know, we want to auction off this opportunity to be in this play. And the head of our NPR program, or GLT radio, was the auctioneer, and he offered this opportunity, and no one was bidding on this. I turned to the person next to me and I said, for gosh sakes, this is a class Shakespeare festival that we have. It's a wonderful opportunity. You should bid on this. And I was working on this person. And then Bruce said, and we have a bid. And I thought, well, great. And it wasn't the person, so I thought I'd keep talking to them. And then nobody else bid. And he said, and the winner is President Larry Dietz. And I thought, I'm working over here. How did this happen? And I looked over there, and my wife said, I thought you'd be good at that. So I went to rehearsal, and that was very humbling. I was delighted to hear that I didn't have any lines. But I was prepared. And so the night that we were supposed to do this, we had a phenomenal, the alumni, it was going to be alumni night at the Shakespeare Festival. And we had a big dinner planned under the tent and all this, you know. And the weather person didn't know that. And as a result, we had a phenomenal downpour, and we had to cancel the play that night. So, but we still had the dinner. We had it inside at the Alumni Center. And I said, you know, I'd be happy to be rescheduled with this if possible. But for those of you that might not be able to make another play, I'm going to reenact that right here for you, my role. And so I'll do that this morning for you. So here is pretty much my role. There's more. react to the guy next to me and his expressions. And I had a ball. And I was in awe of the actors that night, and really always have been. I don't know how they do that, but nevertheless, it was really a terrific opportunity to be around them, and I don't deserve the title thespian, but I was honored to be called that still am. To the delight of the Illinois State community, I don't really spend a lot of time on the theater stage, but I do spend considerable time interacting with theater and communication teachers, students, and alumni, and I can tell you that you are all just terrific folks. What talent you all possess. Our theater alumni include the likes of John Malkovich, Jane Lynch, and Sean Hayes, who this summer I had breakfast with in Los Angeles. And he comes back here on a fairly regular basis. And Jane Lynch was supposed to be here very shortly. Jeff Perry was back and was at one of our commencements not long ago. Gary Sinise is one of ours, and the list goes on. Our communication alumni, a number of among them, WGN sports anchor Dan Rowan and Chicago Blackhawks Vice President Jay Blanc. Jay was down not long ago, and he said, anytime you'd like to come up and watch a game, come on up and let me know. And my schedule was such I couldn't do that until we got to the playoffs, and I thought that's probably not a time to exercise that option, but Jay's been is down here quite a bit as well. These are just the names that you might have heard of. They have, as we would say, the curb appeal names. But as educators, you know and I know that these disciplines produce thousands of remarkably talented people who perform in front of an audience and behind the scenes in writing, editing, design, technology, and a diverse spectrum of other fields. Their knowledge, skills, and experiences are transferable to a myriad of careers in not only the arts, but also in science, business, politics, health, and of course education. I fear there are people who view performance competency as the symbol, not the substance, not the sizzle, not the steak. I'm seasoned enough, I'd like to call myself seasoned and not old, but nevertheless, I'm seasoned enough that I remember the first ever televised presidential debates between Richard Nixon and John F. Kennedy in 1960. Nixon was seen as the experienced, intellectual frontrunner. Kennedy was the less experienced political lightweight at the time. But prior to the television appearance, Nixon did not shave and refused to wear makeup. He came off looking sullen, cold, and not trustworthy. The debates not only had a major impact on the election's outcome, but signaled a new era in which creating and maintaining a public image and taking advantage of a visual medium became essential ingredients of a successful political campaign. So, if we fast forward to today in our most recent presidential debate, you may think that it's all about the appearances, the 5-second soundbite and the zinger that makes its way into the headlines. Still, there's no doubt that the ability to communicate effectively and competently is a critical characteristic for success, equally as important as any other skill or ability. Indeed, just last night I was on a panel with a group of educators from the area here, and we were meeting with a multicultural leadership program, and they talked about, what is your biggest challenge? And I think all of us said communication. We all make decisions, and some are popular and some are not as popular, but everybody likes to know what you're thinking and where you're going with things. So communication is key. There are also people who believe that those who excel in the arena of theater and communication were blessed with innate talent, that they were born with the ability to act, write, debate, produce, or direct. You know that it is not nearly that natural nor that simple. Obviously, it helps to have some innate talent, but many have an inherent spark. But for every spark, there needs to be fanned into an ember, something that can be nurtured into a flame. As teachers, you provide that fuel through your instruction and your mentoring. Whether you meet your students in high school, community college, or even a 4-year institution, you encounter them during an important juncture in their lives. No longer children, not yet fully matured adults. They are experimenting, finding themselves, and considering options that may have a transformative impact on the next stage of their lives. You are, in fact, meeting them in the middle. Not in the middle of their lifetimes, but in the middle of a process that may help determine their future paths. Your job is to provide them direction on those paths, to offer the tools, the counsel, and the encouragement that will assist them along their journey. You help them accomplish their goals, and in doing so, you fulfill your mission. As I looked at the goals of ICTA, right? As I look at the goals of ICTA, I saw words like advocate, develop, foster, secure, collaborate, and serve. These are not merely goals, they are values. They serve as your organization's foundation and the genesis of your mission. And I find it no coincidence that your goals and values are closely aligned to those at Illinois State University, where our core values include words like engagement, diversity, and integrity. Phrases such as individualized attention and the pursuit of learning and civic engagement, as well as scholarship. It's gratifying to see that our values are complementary and our missions are so closely aligned. Education, quite simply, is about changing lives. And through your service, you are changing lives and changing them for the better. For that, my hat is off to each of you. I also want to say this morning that when I encounter a group of high school and community college educators, I immediately get excited because I see a tremendous recruiting opportunity. So, a quick commercial for Illinois State, please pardon me. Send us your students, and everybody else can say the same thing, but representing other institutions. We're all in need of good students, and we're also all in need of good faculty and good staff and good supporters. I surmise because you're the Illinois Communication and Theater Association that you live and work in Illinois and are painfully aware of the daunting economic and political challenges that face our times. At ISU, we grapple daily with the impact of those challenges, but by placing students at the forefront of our mission, values, and vision, we've bucked a national or statewide trend, at least, of diminishing enrollments, rising student loan debt, and crumbling infrastructure. This fall, ISU set a 26-year freshman enrollment record with more than 3,600 new freshmen, including an 8% increase in Hispanic students and a 6% increase in African American students. Our retention and graduation rates are in the top 10% in the nation, and our student loan default rate is just 2.7% compared to a national average of 14%. That tells me that our graduates are graduating, they're getting jobs, they're getting good jobs, and they're responsible citizens, and they're paying back their loans. Now, that is a soundbite that I use every opportunity I have. Legislators. That rings true with legislators. They haven't done anything about that yet. One day they will, and we'll be thankful for what they do. You will see ISU highly ranked in each publication, as such publications as U.S. News and World Report, Washington Monthly, Money Magazine, and Kiplinger News. We are a large university with large opportunities, but we are strongly bound by the core values found in a smaller college environment. Lastly, our schools of theater and communication are nationally respected and continue to attract talented and engaged students, faculty, and staff. Finally, I want you to know that I admire your work and I respect your passion. As educators, your financial rewards may not be quite as robust as some individuals in the private sector, and your community and state support may be waning as well. But we all know why we're here. We're here to serve. If you become educators as a get-rich-quick scheme, the reward you may derive from the success of your students still makes this the noblest, in my estimation, of all professions. So I thank you for your time and attention today. I want to wish you continued success, and thanks for all that you do, for all those students that you help, who will become the young people like those who were awarded today. Thanks very much. Please enjoy your